The race session is at Castle Combe. LaCroix 1980 is P2. Race start. Sputnik NZ is P3. MR Crash 95 is P5. MR Crash 95 passed Deplorable Apple for 4th. LaCroix 1980 is 2nd. MR Crash 95 is P4. LaCroix 1980 is 2nd. MR Crash 95 is 4th. LaCroix 1980 on lap 2 is P2, 0.3 behind Raphael. MR Crash 95 is P4. Best lap is a 1:09.239, 1.588 off the fastest lap. LaCroix 1980 is 2nd, 0.4 behind Raphael. MR Crash 95 is P4 driving a Porsche, 0.3 behind Sputnik NZ. LaCroix 1980 on lap 2 is 2nd, 0.3 ahead of Sputnik NZ. MR Crash 95 is P4, 0.4 behind Sputnik NZ. LaCroix 1980 is P2, 0.3 behind Raphael. MR Crash 95 is 4th, 0.4 behind Sputnik NZ. Sputnik NZ is P3, 0.3 behind LaCroix 1980. LaCroix 1980 is 2nd, 0.2 behind Raphael. Sputnik NZ is 3rd, 0.3 ahead of MR Crash 95. LaCroix 1980 on lap 3 is P2, 0.4 ahead of Sputnik NZ. Sputnik NZ on lap 3 is 3rd, 0.3 ahead of MR Crash 95. LaCroix 1980 is P2 driving a Mazda battling Raphael. LaCroix 1980 passed Raphael for 1st. Raphael on lap 4 is P2, 0.5 ahead of Sputnik NZ. Sputnik NZ is P3, 0.3 ahead of MR Crash 95. MR Crash 95 is 4th, 0.4 behind Sputnik NZ. Sputnik NZ is P3 driving a Nissan, 0.3 ahead of MR Crash 95. MR Crash 95 is 4th, 0.4 behind Sputnik NZ. Sputnik NZ is P3, 0.4 ahead of MR Crash 95. MR Crash 95 is 3rd, 0.3 behind Sputnik NZ. YNFC is 6th, 0.3 behind Deplorable Apple. MR Crash 95 on lap 5 is P3, 0.3 behind Sputnik NZ. The leader has just finished the race. LaCroix 1980 finished P1. Bot Cap Polster. Bot Kicks Mechanic. MR Crash 95 finished second. Bot Merchicken Live. Sputnik NZ finished P3. Bot Crystal 33D. IR Raphael finished P4. Deplorable Apple finished P5. Yanapsi finished 6th. Billy Gotthalen finished 7th. Dusmoke 75 Xbox finished 8th. Bot Akragnarugs is P10. Bot Akragnarugs finished 10th. Bot Caffeinated Car. Bot Adnet 44. Bot Oiloner Wolf. Bot Waldo. Bot J Bougie. Bot C00LM0SES. Bot Evanishadow. Bot Beats with Cook. Bot Edge Slay. Bot iGenerate.